All right, here we go with objective 6, which is solving multi-step equations, but now with distribution. So the biggest difference here from the previous objective is now we've got this grouping with parentheses. So in order to solve this first, we have to distribute this 2. Okay. However, the goal for this hasn't changed at all. So again, to solve these equations, the goal is to get the variable by itself. Okay, and that's the goal for any of these equations that we're solving for the variable. So solving for x, y, whatever. Step 1 for these types of problems, anytime you have a grouping here with parentheses, step 1 is to distribute. So what I mean by distribute is see how we have x minus 3 times 2. So in order to distribute this, I need to multiply the 2 to all of the terms inside of the parentheses. The biggest mistake that I see students make is that they'll just do it to the first term and not every term inside the parentheses. Remember, to distribute, you want to multiply by everything on the inside. So this first step here, we have 2 times x is 2x. And then we have 2 times negative 3 is negative 6 or minus 6. And then after that, we can just bring everything down. So the plus 4x, the plus 3, and the equals 9. So plus 4x plus 3 equals 9. So this looks similar to some of the equations that we saw in objective 5. So the remaining steps are the exact same. Step 2 then would be to combine like terms. And that's like terms on both sides of the equal sign. So looking at this here, like terms, I see we have 2x and 4x. That gives us 6x. And we have a minus 6 and a plus 3. So negative 6 plus 3 is negative 3. So minus 3. And I'll bring down the equals 9. And then the last step is solve as usual. So as a reminder, the steps to solve the equation, we want to go and reverse PEMDAS. So starting with addition and subtraction, then multiplication and division, and then exponents and parentheses. And then I'm just going to put a quick note, kind of an abbreviation. If we do something to the left side, you must also do it to the right side. So remember, if you do something on one side of the equal sign, you have to do it on the other side of the equal sign. So looking over here, we have 6x minus 3. Well, we want to get rid of that addition and subtraction first. We have subtraction here. So to get rid of a minus 3, we add 3 to both sides. So the minus 3 and plus 3 cancels. All we have left is 6x. Bring down the equal sign. 9 plus 3 is 12. All right, no more addition or subtraction. Now we can move on to multiplication and division. So here we have 6 times x. To get rid of that, we divide by 6. 6 divided by 6 cancels, and we're just left with x. X equals, well, 12 divided by 6, you can plug that into your calculator, is 2. So we get x equals 2. And again, you can always check your work and plug in 2 into the original equation, and you should get that they equal. Let's try example 2. So here, the first step here is to distribute. I see we've got that grouping again in the parentheses. The first thing that we want to do is distribute. So we're going to multiply that 5 by every term on the inside. So we have 5 times y is 5y. And then 5 times a plus 4 gives us plus 20. 5 times 4. And then we'll bring down the rest. So minus 2y minus 13 equals 19. Now we want to look at combining like terms. I've got 5y and minus 2y. So 5 minus 2 gives us 3y. And then we've got a plus 20 and a minus 13. So plus 20 and a minus 13. Well, 20 minus 13 is 7. So we're going to say plus 7. And then on the right-hand side, we just have 19. So equals 19. All right, now we solve as usual. So the plus 7, we get rid of that by subtracting 7. So the plus 7 and minus 7 cancel. 19 minus 7 is 12. And then we bring down the 3y. Our last step, we have 3 times y. We divide by 3. We divide both sides by 3, and we get y equals, well, 12 divided by 3, you can plug that in your calculator, or if you know it, y equals 4. All right, flip the page. I got 2 more examples. So here, again, the first step is to distribute. So when we distribute this, we have 4 times 2z. 4 times 2z, we multiply the numbers out in front. So 4 times 2 is 8. So we have 8z. So 4 times 2z is 8z. Then we have 4 times negative 3, or 4 times minus 3, gives us negative 12, or minus 12. And then we'll just bring down the rest. So we have plus 8z, minus 4z, minus 14, equals 8. Combine like terms, so I see a bunch of z terms. We have 8z here, we have another 8z here, and we have a minus 4z here. So 8 plus 8 minus 4. 8 plus 8 is 16, minus 4 is 12. So we have 12z. Now, we've also got a minus 12 and a minus 14. So negative 12 minus 14, you can plug that into your calculator. Remember to use your negative key, is negative 26. Negative 12 minus 14 is negative 26. And then bring down the equals 8. Now we solve as usual. So to get rid of that minus 26, we add 26. So now the minus 26 and the plus 26 cancel. On the right-hand side, we have 8 plus 26. 8 plus 26 is 34. And then we'll bring down our equal sign, we'll bring down our 12z. Last step, we have 12 times z equals 34. So we divide by 12. And then z equals, and this part you can plug in your calculator. Let's see. Plug in 34 divided by 12. 34 divided by 12. You can see that your calculator gives you 17/6. So the calculator will reduce your fractions for you. So you can always plug that in and it will reduce them for you. Or you could reduce them by yourself. So we can pull out a factor of 2. So this becomes 17/6. And again, your answer can be a fraction. It doesn't have to be a whole number. Sometimes the way that these work out is that you'll get a fraction. Let's try one more example. So here, I see that grouping again, so we want to distribute. But one thing that I want to point out, when we distribute this, we're distributing the negative 3. A lot of students forget that negative. So be sure to multiply negative 3 times x and negative 3 times 3. So it goes into every term. So negative 3 times x is negative 3x. And then we have negative 3 times positive 3. So negative times a positive is a negative. And 3 times 3 is 9. So we have negative 9 or minus 9. We'll bring down the rest. Plus 8x minus 13 minus 6x plus 4 equals negative 3. Now we combine like terms. I see a few x terms. So we have a negative 3x, we have an 8x, and we have a negative 6x. So negative 3 plus 8 minus 6. Let's plug that in our calculator. Using our negative key, negative 3 plus 8 minus 6. And that gives us negative 1. So we have negative 1x. Now we combine our numbers. We have negative 9. We have negative 13. And we have positive 4. So negative 9 minus 13 plus 4. Negative 9 minus 13 plus 4 gives us negative 18. So we have negative 1x minus 18. And then we'll bring down the equals negative 3. Now, we get rid of that minus 18 by adding 18. So minus 18 and plus 18 cancel. All that's left on the left-hand side is a negative 1x. And then we've got negative 3 plus 18. You can plug that in your calculator. We get 15. And last step, another thing that I want to point out too, a lot of students will add 1. When they see this step, just be careful. What's going on with this negative 1 and the x? What's happening in between here? We have multiplication, right? You can think of that negative 1 as the number in front of the x. We have multiplication. So in order to undo multiplication, we use division. So instead of adding 1, we're going to divide by negative 1. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 1, and that's how we get that to cancel. All that's left now is our x equals, well, 15 divided by negative 1. You can plug that into your calculator, or you might know that 15 divided by negative 1 is negative 15. And that's our answer. We're going to get a whole lot of practice on this, so study up, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone.